Okay, moving on. So I'm gonna introduce. So I've talked extensively about the dog training. I've talked extensively about how we can help people gain confidence and how they can help their dogs gain confidence. But there's a huge entity that I feel is really, really impactful for reactivity in dogs, or dogs that have issues based on concerns, fear, etc., etc. And that is, as I talked at the beginning of this evening, about the relationship between dog and handler. As something that's really, really unique within this course is that has been considered, and there is a whole section dedicated to self-care and well-being within dog ownership and the relationship between handler and dog. There's the two people that I've asked to contribute is my good friend Kat Farrants, who's going to come on, and you're going to get to meet her shortly, and also Christina Ashley, who is a social worker and specialist in mental health, who also is a professional counsellor, who works a lot with therapy and with people that have anxiety concerns or mental health concerns, etc. The missing link that I feel when I've worked with clients really extensively, that whilst I can help them a lot with the dog training, I felt that we needed to support them and build their confidence. I talked about the impact of PTSD and how that when you have a dog that has a behavioral issue, how that could be an underlying issue that could affect you being able to resolve the problem. As a part of this course, I wanted to get people that specialize in that world and that could help people and contribute exercises that you can do to help yourself gain confidence. So I'm going to invite Kat Farrants. She is the CEO of Movement for Modern Life, an online yoga business that she set up. And Kat has a fantastic story of how she got into that, which I'll let her share with you. I'm going to just share Kat's screen. There she is. Oh, hello, Kat.
Come on.
Excellent. Thank you for your patience, Kat. Thank you for joining and obviously for contributing. Kat is a really good friend, and also she's a dog trainer, and she competes in obedience, and she's venturing into IGP with her homebred Australian Shepherds. I thought they'd make an appearance, but never mind.
Yeah, Gracie's here, but she's busy biting another dog.
Oh, don't say that. Say that for the blooper reels, Kat. Oh. But I wanted Kat to get involved because I felt that, as I said, it was about self-care and well-being, and yoga is a great way of looking at that. You know, that Kat's got a fantastic story how she got into yoga and the impact it's had on her life, and I wanted to share that with people on this course. So Kat she'll tell you a bit about what she's contributed, but just give us a little bit of insight into your journey into yoga and how it's helped you as an individual and how you feel it can help others.
Oh, wow. Big thing. Okay, so I've been practicing yoga since I was 18. I basically came to it because it's non-competitive. I was one of those crappy kids at school who couldn't do any sport. Mm-hmm. And as a result, I was like last to be picked on the team. So as a result, I always felt that, my body was a sort of distance away from myself. I had a pretty unhappy relationship with myself. And with yoga, I discovered that I was able to move, breathe. I didn't have to compare myself to anybody else and feel good. And it was really magical. And to be honest, for me, what yoga is it's breathing, moving, and coming into a headspace where we're becoming conscious, noticing what we're doing. It's that thing of, I can put my right foot forward. And if I put my left foot this far back, then I feel a little bit different here. And it's becoming very aware about our body, how our body affects our mind, how our mind affects the body, how the breath affects our mind and body. So it's for me been a sort of a few decades now of just self-inquiry. Mm-hmm. And it's been a really useful tool. And for me, it's kind of, it has come into its own with dog sports, to be honest, because I'm a very anxious sort of, I'm a full-on sort of person. I get naturally quite obsessive, quite anxious. If I was a dog, I'd probably be a neurotic collie. A little bit nippy. So I find that yoga is something that really helps to keep a lid on it And I think without it, I would probably be in a loony asylum or something. It's really, really helpful as a tool. And for me,
So
it's just,
how do you feel though that when you that your anxiety levels, how do you feel it detrimentally affects your dog's behavior then? And how would that relate to people with dogs with reactivity issues, for example?
right. Yeah, absolutely, massively.
Mhm.
So what I found is my dogs, I've got Australian Shepherds, and they're super sensitive dogs, in as much as they're very aware of how I'm feeling, and their feelings will mirror mine.
Mhm.
And if I don't control my mind, if I don't take the time to really consider
Mhm.
how what my way of being is going to be at that moment, I know that it's going to leak into the dog.
Yeah.
And it's like a question for me of having to contain it at all times and be really aware
Mhm.
of what my energy is giving.
Mhm.
And especially when it comes to something like competing, you know, if I'm going to ask my dog to do a ticket round, I've got to be aware of what I'm giving her if I'm asking her to give something of me.
Mhm.
And the Aussies, you know, they're no shrinking violets as well. You know, we do have issues
Mhm.
with the strong bitches
Mhm.
here.
Mhm.
And again, it's just that question of me checking myself.
Mhm.
Like, is my heart rate up?
Yeah. Yeah.
How's my breathing?
Yeah.
How's my body? What's my body language? And the nice thing about yoga is you get to practice things on the mat so that when a situation happens in life, you then have some tools to deal with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting. There's so many parallels between dog sports and the preparation needed for dog sports to dealing with behavior and that connection, again, coming back to the relationship. So just briefly tell us a little bit about, obviously I asked you to get involved in this project, what you've contributed, and so that a little bit glimpse into what you've
Yeah.
done.
Yeah, so for me, it was the importance. It was a little bit about the importance of visualizing, of managing our mind, of not letting our mind sort of run roughshod over us, of finding techniques in order that, you know, in the same way that we're like, okay, I'm going to be disciplined with what I eat. I'm going to be disciplined with how I conduct myself in public, how my face. I'm not going to just say the things like, it's exactly the same with what we think, and we have to become, it is how to cultivate that awareness. So it's a little bits about mindfulness tricks and tips,
Yeah.
how to start to cultivate a sense of awareness, and also some breathing techniques. Because what I've found is that with breathing, you can really come back into your body. And when you're in your body, you're not in your head, you're not anxious, you're not reacting, you're not worried, you're not thinking, oh my goodness, there's a big dog over there. My dog's going to do this, da, 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 which is setting off a chain in your head, which is definitely going to set off your dog.
Absolutely.
You're actually just, okay, I'm in my body. I'm aware of what's going on. So it's these little techniques. And if we can learn how to cultivate our breathing, um, again, as we are feeling relaxed, as we're feeling calm, then come the exciting, scary, anxiety making situation, we should be able to manage it better because it becomes a practice response.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I was super, as I said, I felt that what the course needed was people that had an expertise in well-being and mental management, if you want to call it, and just self-awareness. And Kat was most definitely the obvious contributor. She's again, she's been a yoga practitioner for an extensive period of time. She's had her own again personal challenges and struggles with anxiety that she's overcome via the medium of yoga and her self-awareness. And that's something that I feel is really, really valid for those people that have dogs that are reactive, and being aware of ourselves and learning to control ourselves and how we're feeling. Are we feeling anxious? Are we feeling apprehensive? Because that most definitely will impact the dog's behavior. Kat, as always, a joy to talk to you. Thank you so much for contributing to this course. I really, really appreciate it. And again, when part of the course and those that partake in the course, the experts that have contributed in your meeting tonight are also going to be contributing various entities throughout the year. What Kat has very graciously done for anybody that signs up for the course and is in part of the Relabelling Reactivity Collective, which I'm going to talk about next week, She's also going to give some great bonuses and additions too. When I'm going to give you a little bit more information about that. Post this, I will share Kat's website details on the conversation, so you can check out Kat and the amazing work that she's doing. She's actually now amazingly helping the NHS. So Kat's team are now working with the NHS as a result of, all that's been gone in this crazy year, to give them the resource and access to yoga, which to me just really articulates how powerful something like yoga, which a lot of, even myself, I would be skeptical about how impactful it is and how I've changed even my perception of. And if it's good enough for the NHS, it's good enough for us. So thank you very much, Kat. Our love and best wishes as always. So thank you very much. All right, guys.